Nick Ilkins just come back from the London Stadium. Obviously, it was West Ham 2, Leeds 0. Virtually, that was. I didn't go, actually. Um, good win, really good win. Bit of a poor start. We need to start a little bit better than that next week.
Well, I think you always want to start better, but I think you also have to respect the fact that Leeds really plays on the front foot. I mentioned it a couple times on the watch along. I can't imagine being a Leeds fan because they could score 3 goals and lose. They're such a almost video game kind of style. They're exciting, but when they can't connect and basically the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, we just kind of hung on. And I thought it was maybe not one of the better games from Rice in the first 10 or 15 minutes. I think we had a little difficulty with their pace, and we just kind of looked off. We looked like we'd had some time off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a little bit what we've struggled with this year. When the games have come thick and fast, we look better. When we have a little bit of rest in between, we start very slowly.
Yeah, it was such a disjointed game for us in the first 10 to 15 minutes. We looked like we couldn't possess the ball when we got it. We couldn't defend. We couldn't communicate. But again, you go back to we were able to win 2-0. And if you want to discount the one off, blatant kind of, or not blatant, but maybe not offsides, it's still a 2-1. I understand that will change the match, but you win 2-0 when you don't play your best football. And so you've got to be you've got to be encouraged by that. I think two things. One, I think Lings and Benrama show us a style of touch and ball control that honestly we haven't seen at West Ham for a while. Their ability to truly control the ball, create, and also just the two of them finally getting to see them get a 60 plus odd minutes together. I think that was huge. Because we all saw it. It was like two buddies that had grown up playing together. Touch here, touch there, back there. It was impressive to see them work together. My biggest thing is kind of looking forward, and I remember thinking about this like in between the Chelsea Everton match and us starting. I looked at the table, and you're looking where we're standing, and you're kind of beat down by it because we played so well, and then all of a sudden we're not even Europa, and then you realize we have the match in hand, which isn't guaranteed points, but you do have the opportunity for points. And two, you look at what we have left. And that's kind of how I always, at least it makes me feel calm looking at where we could finish relative to who we're playing and who we should expect points out of. And we have 11 matches left. And out of those 11, 7 of them are 10th or lower. Right now, obviously that could change, but 7 of those 11 are 10th or lower. And our last 3 weeks are Burnley, West Brom, and Southampton. And Southampton's just become a shell of themselves. I'm really not sure what's going on with Southampton. I'm sure they got injuries, and Danny Ings has been nicked up. But you look moving forward, and you look at who's around us, because who's behind us relative to even I believe Tottenham has a same match in hand that we do. As long as we win and maintain, accumulating points, we're going to be all right. So you have to look at it as not a man. We before this match, we slipped down to 6th, and you start, you get to the point where you're looking at goal differential and wondering what can we do. But the reality is we have a match in hand, which is crazy to think coming into this year that with a match in hand and we're above Liverpool, who obviously have had their problems, but we're in a situation where we have a massive opportunity. 7 of 11 matches. I mean, so you're talking. Almost 70% of our matches left are people that are well below us, or the bottom, except for Arsenal, or the bottom half. So there's opportunity ahead. I think we were all encouraged by seeing the lineup today. What's up?
It's a dangerous way to look at it because 7th or below, you do. It looks good on paper, but they're the ones that are scrapping for their lives down there at the end of it all. They're the ones that can, they're the ones that cause the upsets.
Oh, absolutely. When you're talking about fighting to staying in the Premier League or not, you're going to see a style of play and desperation that is hard to match. The top 4, top 6, even top 8 don't play with the desperation. They play with confidence. The bottom 4 play with a level of almost desperation. It's Leeds style play where they just realize they have to score as many as possible, and what they let in is what they let in. And I think that's one of the most interesting things about Leeds. I couldn't be a fan. I said I can't imagine Dan being a Leeds guy. He would literally have a coronary event every week. But I guess it's exciting. It's video game football, so it's exciting. It's what we all love to watch, but it's not what we love to support per se. But I think we were all encouraged by the lineup that got rolled out. I think we've been kind of all scratching at that for a long time, and Moyes finally rolled it out. We had Jay Lings, we had Benrama, we had Antonio. We had our main setup, and obviously the man of the year on the planet, Craig Dawson, who saw that coming. But I mean, you could pay for Craig Dawson for what I can find on my couch right here, for what we signed him for. But I thought it was an important match because Leeds is a dangerous side. They're not a dominant side, but they're a dangerous side. And we saw a lot of top teams, the so-called top six that everybody, the clubs everybody wants to kiss their asses on. They gave them a lot of hard runs too. They gave them a lot of hard matches. Leeds is nothing to be messed with. I think Leeds will be around for a while until somebody figures out how to truly shut them down, because they play careless. They play like a team that hasn't been in the Premier League in over 2 decades. They just all out, have fun, play, and it's working for them, which is why this match was so important. And I know we've got Man United, I know we've got Leicester, but the other people around us have those as well. And the way we finish is a little bit better. And then you look at, I believe is it Tottenham or Everton, one or the other. They have 4 matches in the span of 12 days, or 3 matches in the span of 11 or 12 days because of FA Cup, Europa stuff. So again, you have to think about, because they're kind of teetering on the brink. Do you worry about them? If we're not playing them, you can't worry about them. But I'm really excited for what I saw today. I'm excited moving forward. We owe Man U something. We do. So hopefully, you scratch a point on a Man United, and all of a sudden, you look at that now. 7 of the last 10 are in the 10, or 10th or below. And so
I think the games that are going to define where we finish is Leicester and Chelsea. I think they're the two that if you don't get anything out of Man United, but if you get something out of them two, if you get 4 points out of them 2 games, I think you can really start to look at it. You know what? We're in with a shout. That's when you can start to dream.
Well, and I think you also almost look at it. I mean, you hate to it's not a defeatist kind of point of view, but if you can nick 2 out of those 2 matches, they're both above you. Man United isn't uncatchable, but they're out there, and currently they don't affect where we sit. Chelsea, you got to start worrying about Chelsea, because they hired Tuchel and they've gone 12 straight undefeated, and that's across all platforms. But another clean sheet at home in Chelsea, and blah blah, make me barf. But Chelsea's playing really good football under Tuchel. Tuchel, I don't know. I think it's Tuchel. But they're playing kind of a reinvigorated style. Just sometimes a new manager can do that. It might level off, but I think Chelsea is the one to watch moving forward. Relative to where we stand and where they stand. That Everton Chelsea match was. It was a big one too, obviously, because we're all 3 of us are just kind of sitting around the same lump. But Moyes rolled the right lineup out there today. We survived a really all but awful first 15 minutes. And and that's the thing, looking at 7 of 11 that are 10th or lower. I don't expect points out of that, but it shouldn't get you expectant, but it should get you excited about what we do have in front of us, and knowing where we are right now, sitting in Europa. I mean, we control our own destiny, right?
Absolutely, mate.
Nobody can catch you if you keep winning.
That's what I said. I said that on the watch along. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just keep on winning.
And that's where the Man United and the Chelsea, those are 2 big matches. And if we can even nick a point, you keep that separation between us and Chelsea to a minimum. Man United, you love to scratch 1. I mean, if not 3, we owe them. I mean, we owe Man United. So I'd love to see that. My new neighbor across the street's a Man United fan. I'd love to be a total jerk. Would big fan of that. But yeah, so I think you look forward to what we have cautiously, but knowing that it does set up well for us, as opposed to maybe there are other years where your last five are, Leicester, Man City, Man U, Burnley, and so it's one of those where it does set up in our favor. We just have to hopefully, and I think we all saw where we were deficient today. I think two is a shadow of what we could have put in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think you're right. Listen, we're all looking forward to the running. Well, thank you so much.
Why not have fun with it, right? Let's just enjoy the ride. Let's go.
Exactly. Take care, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.